Thank you, President. Honorable Dr. C.P. Mulder.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable President, I will want to make 3 quick points and then a question. The first point I would like to make is you refer to the questions that you've asked during the convention. And I think South Africans did not ask the questions because they know the answers. They expected the president to reply and to say why these things are there and why they were not differently. The second point I would like to make is I think it's common cause that the majority of South Africans were not represented. If you purely look at the parties represented in parliament who did not participate in terms of their support, it's quite clear, never mind trade unions, that the majority were not represented. And lastly, the problem with regard to the outcomes that you refer to, I'm not aware that any decisions were taken at the convention. My question is the following. The original question dealt with possible outcomes, and it referred specifically to economic growth, job creation, etc. And we have had some interaction.
Thank you, Honorable Mulder. Your time is up.
The question I would like to ask is
Mulder,
this. You've made it very clear
up.
on behalf of the presidency, but also your
Honorable Mulder,
that you are not going to support those kind of amendments. If the dialogue comes out and says these things should be done, will your government implement those changes?
Honorable Mulder, we didn't hear most of your questions.
Madam, I switched off my mic a long time ago.
IT, can you please switch off Honorable Mulder?
I have switched off.
Mr. President, you can answer a question you had because it was very difficult.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It was very difficult to hear, and whatever I might answer might not entirely answer the questions that he might have had. But to the extent that I had, Honorable Mulder seems to be saying that the majority of parties represented in Parliament are not participating in the dialogue. That may well be so, but there are some parties that are in Parliament that are represented in the whole process of the national dialogue. And as I said earlier, at times when we hold national manifestations, there are those who choose not to participate. And I think, past just begging them to participate, we can never, as the English say, take a horse to the river and force it to drink. And I'm expecting that with time, as they see this process unfolding, they may well want to participate. But in the end, the value of South Africans talking to each other, and let me be clear, let me be very clear, it is South Africans who will be talking to each other, meeting at ward level, where even our voters, the people who voted for us, are represented. So they will be talking. And they will not even be, cajoled not to talk. They will opt to go to those meetings and participate. So it is to the detriment of us who are sitting here to say, no, we are not going to participate because of this and this and that. I often, and I referred to this with regard to the Pan-Africanist Congress. Their message to me was quite heartwarming because the president of their Pan-Africanist Congress came to me and said, Mr. President, we as the PAC have always shunned and stayed away from various national manifestations. And we now realize that with our absence, our voice was not heard. And now we want to be there because we want our voice as the PAC to be heard. And I took that to heart and I said, that is precisely what the South African response should be, that we should participate Because you know what? Your own members, your own voters are going to participate at grassroots level. They are going to go to those ward meetings, unless, of course, as a party, you issue a directive that do not participate. And maybe all you should ever say is that if you see the president in any of those, don't go. I promise you, I'm not going to be there, so they should go. So I do hope that various parties will find their way clear, and those who are staying out will find their way clear to participate. This is a serious citizen-led process. Our people want to participate. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.